there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters. We're on today. We're in Caminito in La Boca here in Buenos Aires. And I used to go to school here and I love this city. And today what we have for you are the 5 things you're going to love and hate about visiting Buenos Aires. And since it's so close to my heart, I'm actually going to start with the loves this time. And here in Boca just represents the first thing I love about Buenos Aires, and that is all the different neighborhoods around the city. Coming to La Boca and see the painted houses and then the tango dances and stuff like that is such a great experience. Going to San Telmo on a Sunday and to see the flea markets that are there, it's so cool. Going to Recoleta and going and seeing the Recoleta Cemetery where you walk through and you have all the tombs and mausoleums there. Or you're going to the Microcentro and you're going to see the center there, and you're going to see the Obelisco or the Obelisk when you're there, and Avenida Nueve de Julio. There's so many different districts around here, so many different neighborhoods. You get a totally different feel. I know Liam, when we went to San Telmo, he's like, it's like I'm in a different city versus Recoleta, the other parts. I was like, wow, dude, you've noticed these differences? And you have that here. And that's why it's the first thing I love is the distinct differences between the different neighborhoods all over Buenos Aires. So definitely get out and go explore different neighborhoods. And the second thing you're gonna love when you come here is when you're going around the architecture. I know there's a different neighborhoods, they have different feels, but part of that is the architecture that is here. You're gonna see amazing buildings from the late 1800s, early 1900s, you know, in the center historic part of the city, or whether you're going through the different districts, like I said. But really the architecture and design of this city is fantastic. And so when you're driving around, make sure you're looking out your taxi windows and stuff like that, or out your bus windows, because there's so much architecture to take in and see, and just the design and feel of the city. I mean, it's like the architecture, design, and vibe of Buenos Aires is just awesome. So the third thing you're gonna love when you come here is that there's so much to do in Buenos Aires. There's tons of really good museums. The National Museum of Bellas Artes, our beautiful arts, the Latin American Art Museum, the Natural Science Museum. Coming here to the different districts and seeing the museums. Or if you're in Palermo, you can go see the Evita Museum if you want. There's tons and tons of things to do here, but not just cultural stuff. There's also stuff for kids to do here. And what's cool is there's good clubs, there's good bars, tons of restaurants, all kinds of stuff. So you always have something going on, which is awesome. The fourth thing you're gonna like when you come here is Buenos Aires is actually pretty affordable. You know, a lot of places where you go, it's like super cheap. This is not a super cheap place, okay? I'm not gonna say it's cheap. What I will say is an affordable place to come in South America that has great architecture, tons of stuff to do, so it is really worth your tourist dollar when you come here. It goes really far. And the thing is, with that affordability, you actually can pay with US dollars here a lot of times, and it's totally fine. So do bring some small bills when you do come here. They'll make life easier. And the thing is, with that money you do have and how affordable it is here, you're gonna have the fifth thing that I love, and it's the best thing about coming here, is the beef, the wine, and the ice cream. Yes, 3 great tastes go together in one love, because the food here is wonderful. So you get to go to Parilla, go to a grill house, oh my god, having the bife de chorizo, which is like a sirloin steak, or the lomo, which is a tenderloin, oh my god, or just a lomito, a little steak sandwich, or maybe chorizo, which isn't beef, but it's on the grill kind of stuff, the sausage. It is awesome. But the red wines here, the Syrah, the Malbec, you want to have some of those because they're so good. But for me, it's the helado. The ice cream here in Buenos Aires is awesome. And there are chains like Volta and Freda you can go to, but if you can find some mom and pop places, go, eat, enjoy, you're welcome. And if you're looking for really good ice cream, get stuff with dulce de leche, because when the dulce de leche is like a ribbon through there, or just the flavor, it is awesome. I know my favorite, and I've said it in every video, is the banana split ice cream, which is banana ice cream, a little bit of chocolate, and a bunch of dulce de leche, like caramel kind of stuff through it. Oh my god, it's so good. And that's why those are the 5 things that tops off my 5 loves of coming to Buenos Aires. And I guess the 6th love is actually, there's a really easy day trip over to Colonia and Uruguay you can do, which is really cool. But the thing is, those are my loves. But what are the things you're not gonna love? Because I know I usually start with the hates, and this time I saved it to the end because I've really loved my time living here in Argentina, so I wanted to start with the good stuff. But what are the things you're not gonna like? Well, let's go to a different part of town and see that. So now we're here outside the Recoleta Cemetery in Recoleta. That's where you see all the really cool mausoleums and tombs and stuff like that. It is really awesome. You have to go there. The thing is, though, when you come to Buenos Aires, there's things you're not going to like. And so now we're going to focus on those kind of 5 things you might not like when you come here. And the first thing I want to talk about is something, if you're not used to it, it might get to you. And that is the kind of general overall lateness of Buenos Aires. And the thing is here, the lateness can be, look, the day starts later. I mean, it's after 8 o'clock and you only see a couple people walking around. So if you're an early morning traveler, want to see sites, museums and stuff like that, morning is just nothing's happening, okay? So that can be a bit off-putting, like, oh, I want to get some stuff done. So what I'd recommend is actually go walk around and enjoy some of the architecture in the morning because it is kind of quiet, or film your videos because it's kind of quiet, okay? Another thing with the lateness I would say is know that some of the museums do open later. For example, the Natural Science Museum, where they have a really cool room of dinosaurs, because I mean, Argentina is a big dinosaur hub. That doesn't open until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So do make sure you check the times and stuff like that, because the kind of the inconsistencies of the times when things start and close and open can get to people. And with that is when you have dinner time, you know, here 8, 9, 10 p.m. is a normal time to go out for dinner. So if you're used to an earlier dinner, a 5, 6, 7 p.m. dinner, know that you're gonna have to search for places that are open. Now, if you're in tourist areas, they'll have stuff open though, but if you don't have a real Argentina asado and things like that, you're gonna have to wait to do those things. Also, in terms of the lateness, you also have to know about the time factor. And the thing is if you do schedule something here in Buenos Aires, just know, don't be surprised that people you're working with don't show up for like 20 to 30 minutes after you planned it. So that is one of those things that kind of gets people when you're here, but really it kind of comes down to that inconsistency. And the inconsistency is something that leads into the second thing you might not like when you come here is the inconsistency in the service, okay? Because you can have amazing service here. I mean, we were at a place just right down the way, this cafe. The guys were super attentive, super awesome. And I'm not talking that over the top USA, how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? Service. No, what I'm talking about is they're like, you know, when you needed something, they were there to help you with your wine. They were helping you order things, but they let you have your space, but they were there if you needed them. Very super awesome. So you can have this home run hitting awesome kind of stuff, but then on the other side, you can have what I would say is the most, you know, I don't care about service ever. You know, it's like, hey, could I get seated? Hey, could I get a menu? Hey, could I order? Hey, I'd like to give you money to pay so I could leave. So make sure you do have some patience when you do come here when it comes to the service. Also, when you're going around, sometimes you hear people talk about people in Buenos Aires being a little brusque, being a little tough to deal with sometimes. I've always had a good time here and enjoyed the people. There's some really awesome people, but I do know, like when you're getting your bags at the airport, or if you're coming over from Uruguay, or you're trying to get into something, you know, they're just like, excuse me, could I get through? And like kind of nonchalant, well, maybe eventually, and then they'll move. So just make sure you have your patience when you come here, because that time factor and that inconsistency of service and stuff, those first two kind of things that you might not like kind of go together, okay? Now, the third thing I'd mention are the little ripoffs and the taxis. There's things you might not like when you're here. Now, Buenos Aires doesn't have a ton of scams and stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of like any other big city. You do have to deal with that. But there are some small ripoff things. A lot of it will go with taxis and stuff. You know, for example, you know, you might be in a taxi and they don't have any change, okay? Oh, I'm sorry, I can't change your 500 peso note. I don't have any money. I only have like 100 left, so you're gonna have to tip me 100, you know, pesos. You're like, dude, come on. So make sure you have small bills, okay? Like, and you can pay with US dollars here a lot of times. So just have like a bunch of $5 bills. That's what I've had for my backup, and have smaller bill pesos just so you know you can pay the things. Other little things, little ripoffs we've had is, you know, some places they'll have the credit card sign, and then you go to pay with a credit card, and like, oh, you got the promotion, you got the deal of the day, so we can't use credit card on deal of the day. And you're like, really? So there's just sometimes these little things, you know, that they might try to get you on, but it's nothing bad. Just sometimes it's a little annoyances. That's why it's kind of little annoyances also go with the taxis. And also you might get frustrated because the taxis don't have to pick you up, okay? So you may want to get that taxi. It may say it's free. They don't have to get you. You may go to a taxi stand. I don't like where you're going. I don't like you. They don't necessarily have to take you. And that's happened to us a few times here where they're like, no, you're not going far enough. No, I don't want to go to that part of town. No, I don't care. So that is kind of frustrating. So what I do recommend is if you have to get a ride, talk to your hotel and set up a car, a driver, or a taxi to come pick you up, and use the radio taxis. The thing is, when you're on the street, if you can have a choice, look for one that has their phone number on the top, or if they have like the new blue license plate on the taxi. Those are the ones you should kind of go to. They're a little bit, I guess, a little bit more reputable. But we hadn't had too many problems. But I'd say, you know, in terms of experiences and stuff going on, I would say it was like 65-35. 65% of the time, everything was fine. 35% of the time, there was an issue, so do have a heads up for that. And that's why you'll understand why you don't tip the taxis when you are here. I know we actually had a good one when I was coming back from the Natural Sciences Museum with Liam, and the guy was so good, helped, a nice, friendly talk, and I only tipped him like 20 pesos, you know, so it wasn't really that much. And the guy, he tries to give it back to me, like, no, it's for you. He's like, why? I'm like, oh, propina, it's a tip. He's like, oh, okay, thanks, man. You know, but it was just kind of funny because, you know, you're not really expecting much of that taxi situation might kind of get you, okay? Now, the fourth thing you're not going to like when you come here has to deal with the streets. And one thing is the dog poop on the streets, and you'll see a lot of people walking like 10 dogs at one time, and those doggies have to go pee, and so they leave the stuff on the street. So do have a heads up with that. Also, do watch out for the sidewalks and stuff, because there is a lot of broken pavement and stuff, so a little uneven there. So just have a heads up. I've seen a few tourists do the broken ankle shuffle, so do have a heads up for that. But probably the thing you won't like the most about the street is actually crossing the street. It is dangerous to cross the street here. I used to live here, and I saw multiple people get hit by cars crossing the street. You gotta be careful. Even if it says you have the walk sign, and they have to stop, you still need to make sure you wait, look, make sure everything's okay, and then go, because it is one of those things you gotta be careful with, because people drive like crazy here, and you'll see them accelerate to the stop, so just have a heads up for that. And then the fifth thing you might not like, which is actually something you probably won't like when you are here, are safety issues here in Buenos Aires, okay? Now, it's nice as this city, as beautiful it is, whether you're going to San Telmo for the market, or here in Recoleta to see the stuff, or going to Palermo. There's safe parts of towns, there's less safe parts of towns, there's parts of towns you shouldn't go to. So definitely talk to your hotel people. Hey, is it okay for me to go here at 9 and things like that? Because you do need to be careful. Like La Boca, you want to go there during the day. It is cool to see, you get the painted houses and everything, but at night, you probably don't want to be around that part of town. You want to go someplace else. So do have a heads up. And anytime you're traveling after dark, I do recommend getting a taxi, okay, to go to the places. The taxis are very affordable here. If they rip you off, it's still not that big of a rip off, so you do have that, okay? But do be safe. Also, I will say, if you're staying in an Airbnb or a VRBO or whatever, you're renting a place, unless you're expecting someone, don't open the door for anybody, okay? Because there has been no, I mean, it's not as big now as it used to be, but there was, when I used to live here, when I came back a few years ago to brush up my Spanish, my family I was staying with in Barrio Norte were like, hey, look, don't open the door. Even if it's me, don't open the door for me, because I'll find a way to get a key, because there was people that would like rob people at their door. So do have a heads up for that. And then, of course, I mean, it's a big city, so have your usual safety precautions, you know. Don't wear your bling and stuff like that. I mean, you'll see the people here in Buenos Aires do dress up. They have some really good style here, okay? And they'll dress really well. And you, as a tourist, can dress better when you are here than I would say like a lot of, you know, Brazil or someplace like that. But still, don't wear the diamond rings, the fancy jewelry and stuff like that, just to kind of keep you from making yourself a target. But overall, I mean, I've enjoyed my time here. You know, I went to college here. I came back and studied Spanish again to brush up on. I'm here again with my family. I mean, I've really enjoyed my time here at Argentina, and I lived in Buenos Aires, so I really do love it, and I do hope you come here, because it is affordable. There's cool stuff to do. Partying, if you're young, you like to party kind of stuff, there's stuff for that. You want culture, they have that. There's all kinds of things for you to enjoy here, so I hope this helps you out. If you want more stuff, we actually have a video of the don'ts of visiting Buenos Aires. So there's like specific things you should not do when you're here, or should do, because you know how I do my don'ts. It's like, don't do this because it's bad for you, and don't forget to do this because it's awesome. So we do have those. So do check those out. You probably can find them on our website at woltersworld.com, or just what you do is go on YouTube and search like Buenos Aires Wolters World, and I'm sure some of the videos will pop up. Anyway, I hope you have a great time here in Buenos Aires. Whether you love it or hate it, let us know what you love and don't like about coming here, because it is a cool city, and I hope you do enjoy it. So I'll say bye from Recoleta here in Buenos Aires, and have a great time. Bye.